Good evening, everyone. How are you keeping? I hope everybody is well. This Saturday, may I say, not Friday. Sorry, I'm a day behind. What have I clicked on now? Give me a second. What is this, and why have I clicked on it? Sorry, I hit some button there. I don't know what I hit, but I hit something. Um, it's a very weird team now. It's kind of pink. The YouTube symbol now instead of red. What is that now? So it's a very unusual thing because I was used to for years it was red. Like since the foundation of YouTube, it's always been the red symbol. Now it's kind of a pinkish symbol. It's kind of pink. I don't know. Maybe it's not really kind of. I don't know what you really would call it. But yeah, a lot to discuss because we wouldn't live Wednesday. Usually we're live midweek. This week, I get into it in a few minutes. Hopefully, all is going okay tonight. In terms of everything working, maybe not. It might not be. Hopefully, it is. I think it is. Seems to be working. Yeah, it seems to be live. Yeah, because YouTube's acted a bit weird the last few months. The last month, particularly. It seems to be fine. Let me just check. Hope that's not too loud too. Yeah, it seems to be good. Yeah, we're good. I think. My deal. It seems to be a bit more brighter for some reason too. I don't know what I've done with the computer, but it seems to be a bit more brighter the screen and stuff. But I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Because I was tricking around with settings the last few days and other things. Good evening, Sean. How are we keeping? I hope your Saturday is going well. It's been a while. I don't know. It must be. It's a good few weeks since I've talked to you last. Yeah, it must have been a good 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Doing good. Very good to hear. I was going to say. So yeah, yeah. There's that much to talk about. See, I should probably be live on Wednesdays because at least then it's midweek. It's too much. I presume you Aarononi, or a new account of Aarononi. Let's put that way. I cannot even pronounce that, but I'm not bad. I'm not bad at all. Are we looking forward to the Halloween? Are you looking forward to going trick or treating? Yeah, so there's a lot to talk about tonight, so you would have to kind of bear with me. We're not getting started yet, but in a few minutes' time, it's just going to be a flood of stuff. So let's put it that way. Because there's just far too much things have happened since I was last live last Wednesday, wasn't it? Yeah, last Wednesday. Would you believe? Wasn't it last? Yeah, it was last Wednesday. And a lot of things have happened since then, of course. So. Oh, right, he came to your door, did he? Yeah, we're all feeling for even like Ela Buck's family comforted them. Comforted with, sorry, I'm not saying him, but Willie O'Deed, that's what I'm trying to say, sorry. Like Willie O'Deed was all against it. We get into it tonight at some point. We have to talk about it. But Willie O'Deed was like, oh, I'm against this. I'm going to vote down everything. And he voted the same way. Fianna Fáil Fianna Gael, they're too afraid of losing the seats and losing the money and etc. They're too afraid of being kicked out of the party. So they all kind of vote like good boys and don't whatever they, you get what I'm saying. So Fianna Fáil Fianna Gael, all of them voted yes to vote for good. Apart from there was a good few absent. A few of them were absent. A good lot of them were absent. Like they wouldn't there. But what they expect is from Fianna Fáil Fianna Gael. Like they wash the true anyway. Like they wash the true like no other. But at least it's not the hate crime bill. Like, people get mixed up as the hate crime. What they call it? It's the incitement to hatred. That's what they call it. It's not the hate speech legislation that's been dropped for the moment, but Helen McAtee said it in the Dáil when she was talking, because I heard her saying it when I was watching it, that the next government will look at the hate speech bill. So they're not dropping it for good, the hate speech bill. But they're going to be looking at the next election. So it's important who gets into government. But Sinn Féin get in anyway. Regardless of who really gets into the mainstream political party, they're going to do it anyway. Because the Labour Party are all for it, the Green Party are all for it, people before profit are all for it, the whole lot of them are all for it. The coin that's not bought in, the Labour Party were coin that wasn't bought in already. So isn't it great? But again, it's important that bit. But we're talking about the veteran side with the hatred. Well, it's basically the hate crime element. That's what they call it, not the hate speech. It's a lot of like trying to pronounce different things, etc., etc. But like there's a lot to say about it. But we get around to it at some point tonight. That's for that way, because there's 9 billion things that have happened since I was last live. Like that's the worst thing, not being live twice a week. You could break up things and talk about more stuff. Like with this, I have to try and get everything out in 5 minutes. So we give it a few moments, the usual routine. We can chat among ourselves for the next few minutes. But yeah, here's some brass neck coming out and looking for a few votes. Because again, the election is less than... What day is today? The 26th. Well, they're going to go it's either going to be the 29th or the 6th, which I think it's going to be the 29th end of November. Because the Taoiseach has said it's going to be a Friday. So they're the only 2 dates logical, but let's have the Christmas. But the reason why I do think maybe they will do it maybe the 6th too, because it's the toy show night. And because people on social welfare, people on the Dáil, be getting their double week. They get a double week in that day, the 6th of December, I think it is. Somebody said that to me, that it's social welfare getting that on the 6th. So they probably hope that the people on the Dáil will vote for them because they're getting a double week. I presume so. I don't know, to be totally honest. That's what people have said. I don't know. I don't be paying much attention to what they... I know they got a rise in the Dáil, but I don't know particularly. I had literally nobody come around here yet. Nobody's turned up here yet, the campus. Not yet, but wait, give it a few weeks and we'll see it. Cough, cough. Yeah. Hello there, Fiona. We'll get into the bit. I think... what was it? Yeah, we'll get to talking about that museum stuff. Let's put that way. Here, ditch. We're all speaking Irish. Why is the YouTube speaking Irish? So there's going to be a lot of giving out about the Finnish government tonight, just to put it straight, because they really have went up a step. Let's put that way. If they couldn't do it before. I presume we get started. So if somebody comes in the meantime, hopefully all works. Because again, I was tricking around a good few seconds. So hopefully all's well tonight. Might be a bit laggy maybe at some stages. Because I tricked around a good bit with the computer and done different things. Now, I don't know where I'm even starting. There's that much stuff. I suppose we started with this. It's not to do with all in the moment, just because I thought it was... Like, this is generally the most insane argument I've ever heard from a politician to bring in hate speech. Not the hate speech that we're taking off, the Irish terms of hate speech. It's entirely different. So, as you can see, this is the mayor of Helsinki. He's not the True Finns, what they call it, the National Coalition Party. That's who he's a part of, in the government, in the True Finns. So this is to do with the left alliances, Lai Anderson, etc., etc. The left alliances, was in the coalition government, Sanna Marin, for example. So there's a new chairperson of the left alliance. Lai Anderson stepped down as a new chairperson. And basically, the mayor of Helsinki, this is insane. And everybody in Finland basically said the same. And any white-minded person would say the same. So Lai Anderson was saying, but the goal of the current government in Finland is to dismantle the welfare state, crush trade unions, basically shut everybody up and keep everybody, ruin society, basically, which is true because that's what they are doing. And like, this is the new thing the Finnish government are trying to do at the moment. Because let's be fair, they already have banned strikes. You can't strike in Finland now unless the government tells you can strike. Because, you know, well, 1984. And then if you're in an anti-government protest on the street, you can be fined to €100 for participating in an anti-government protest. So very 1930s, just to say. So he comes along, even though it's, you know, it's insane that this is questioning the government in Finland now is hate speech. You know, it's not like criticism minorities or anything like that. But if you dare question your government on what they're doing, you know, you're committing hate speech. That's like if the Irish government bring this in the morning, it's over. I'm done for. Let's put it that way. Because this is what they're at now. This is the kind of thing the truth into what they bring in. If you criticize them, it's hate speech. We're going to lock you up. That's their definition of a hate speech now. If you criticize the government for what they're doing, it's hate speech. So basically, I'd be locked up for 50 years when the Finnish government get a hold of me. Because, you know, I'm committing hate speech by criticizing the current Finnish government. And this is the actual mayor, and I thought this was a parody cap, but this is the actual mayor of Helsinki coming out and saying this. Like, hate speech, you know, for just questioning and having an opinion. It's hate speech, you know. Like, think about that. It wasn't even that it was criticizing the minority or something. Over here, they would say if you criticize the minority, it's hate speech straight away. Like, literally just saying this. Like, he's basically said himself what Lai Anderson said. If this is hate speech, I wouldn't want to see, you know. Like that's insane. Like, I never seen an argument in my life, and he's never kind of he never bothered to re-clarify or anything that. But literally, everybody in the mother wasn't happy with him, because this is insane. As Lai Anderson says here, like, I never seen in all my life, I never seen the likes. So basically, Lai Anderson used to be the chair of the Left Alliance, is now this woman that's the chair of the Left Alliance. So as she says, from the new chairperson, you know, but as she doubles down and says every word of that is true, which is true. She's not wrong in saying the current Finnish government, you know, are not the nicest people to be engaging with or talking about. Yeah, it's not hate speech. Like, this is the most insane argument I've ever seen in my life. You know, like, if the Irish government bring this in the morning, it's fair to say, well, oh fuck, you know, because, you know, hate speech. You know, this is what she said, just to say, you know, and that's hate speech. You know, we need to lock her up for 50 years. But the thing is, and I said this before, they hate Lai Anderson. The one person they hate more than Sanna Marin is Lai Anderson, because Lai Anderson keeps annoying them. Which rightly so, because they really have to be annoyed, the truth is, except they really have to be just questioned on what they're doing. And that's not even going into the museum stuff they're trying to do. But yeah, just think about that. You know, that's hate speech. And the worst thing about it is the Finnish government probably will bring in something like this. Because we already have seen it with the strikes. They don't want people to strike. You're forbidden from striking. The state forbids strikes. And then obviously if you protest, an anti-government protest, which they don't clarify what is anti-government, etc., what clarifies that as an anti-government, you could be charged €200 for participating. Because the reason why they couldn't send people to prison for that, because they wouldn't get through Parliament. They wanted to bring it in and not ahead they would get through Parliament. So they walked around it and tried to, you know, basically to charge people to death if they participate in anti-government protests, which democracy is alive and well in Finland, just to say. It's all going well. Like, have you ever seen such an insane thing, just to say? Like, that's insane, you know. Like, I don't know if people realize, like, what he was saying there, you know. Like, if the Irish government bring this in the morning, I'm fucked. You know, it's insane. Yeah, so we're all committing hate speech. If you say anything against the Finnish government, you're committing hate speech. If you're going to be locked up now for committing hate speech on the Finnish government, for questioning why they're closing the museums. You're not allowed to do that. Don't you know it's 1984 Finland? I'd probably be locked up as soon as I arrive in Helsinki Airport. The next time I'd be locked up. But I just thought that was the most insane thing I've ever seen. And I've heard the Irish government say, like, Charlie Flanagan wanted to commemorate the Black and Tans, you know, along with Leo Varadkar. Like, you know, I don't know if it could get any more insane than that. We're all talking about Spanish and Irish. Oh, where am I now? Sorry, think about where I am. So there's a lot to talk about. That's awful, yeah. But they haven't brought it in yet. But they're kind of putting it out there. If that makes sense. They're kind of rolling the carpet out to bring it in. Because again, we already seen they've done things like that before, so it's not stopping them. Not going to stop them from doing it now. But we're seeing this with the government here, take for example, with the general election. You've seen for a few months, the media are like, "Oh, they're going to go for an area election." You know, putting the carpet out there for the public, to see what their reaction would be. It's basically just putting the foot in the door. The media kind of works hand in hand with the government here, to take for example, because again we've heard it for months. Oh, there's going to be a general election, etc., etc. Like putting it out to see what the public reaction would be. If that makes any sense. Um, yeah, we'll get into that eventually. I just wanted to bring that because that's the most insane thing I've ever heard about. So the next thing, the big thing I have to talk about. Now, I didn't mention about this for a good while, just to say. I've been literally when I was in secondary school about nearly 4 years ago at this stage. There was talks about this. There was talks about this happening in Cavan. That there was brothels set up in Cavan. Um, Now there's supposed to be three, and that seems to be true. Now I don't know why the media all of a sudden has woken up to this in Cavan, and it's just like actually it does exist because it's a well-known secret. Well, not even secret; it's an openly talked secret. You ask anybody in Cavan, I've heard it when I was in secondary school. People have come to me about it before, etc., etc. Um, it was openly talked about. Basically, in the Gardaí and the local, I can show you for 100% fact that all the councillors knew about it and all the TDs knew about it. So I presumed that these women, etc., etc., are minorities. They're women who are not supposed to be in the state, etc., etc. And obviously, there's probably people getting kickbacks and Garda Sín O'Connell, etc., etc. Because it's funny how this, because technically it's not illegal, as it says somewhere here. It isn't really illegal, but not really, but it's morally questionable. But um, because if they're like, it's hard to like in this area of the law, it's hard to. Um, I don't know how we would prescribe it, but it's not it's a grey area if that makes any sense. Uh, um, like particularly because again, it seems like these women are being used used for like sexual exploitations, etc., trafficked, if that makes any sense. But it's hard to know. There's very little information to go on. Now, obviously, it's a well-known secret at this stage. I don't know of any of the locations, etc., etc. But I presume the guards know about it. They should probably shut it down as soon as possible. Especially because it was well talked about for years. But yeah, so long story short, I said to people in Cavan not to get involved in this. I suppose that's my advice. Not to even give them any money or anything. That I'll just boycott it as much as possible. That's what I would say. And obviously, I will keep you in touch with if anything happens in the meantime about this. We'll find out anything else. Because the one thing I would say to people in Cavan is that we shouldn't accept this kind of behaviour on our streets, etc., etc. We shouldn't accept it. We don't want these kind of behaviours in our towns, in our cities. It's not acceptable, and simple as that. Um, and that's really it. But as I say, if there's women being trafficked, etc., etc., obviously the people who are tracking, we should find them and we should deal with them. Um, but as I say, to only members of the public in Cavan not to engage with these people in any way, shape, or form. But it's not really. It doesn't seem to be remote. It's somewhere in the town. I don't know where it is. Uh, a few years ago, I inquired about it because somebody came to me and wouldn't tell me where it was exactly because I had every intention to go to the guards about it, etc., etc. To wait it, um, or even just to bust in with a camera, etc., etc., and expose it. Um, but nobody's willing to squeal about it. If that makes sense. Like the guards obviously know. The politicians know. They know it's not like it just popped up overnight. It's been here a while. Let's put it that way. Especially because people have told me a good while about it. And as I said to people in Cavan, not to engage with it. So it was that. not to go, not to give any money, because the end they have no business, they'll just fade away. That's the main thing. Hopefully they'll be caught, but hopefully it just fades away and doesn't turn up. But it's hard to know because again, it's very secretive at the moment what's happening about it. Especially because again, it's hard to know specifically, Yeah, like I presume it's human traffickers. Like these women have been forced to do it. If that makes any sense. I could be wrong. I don't know. Some of them could be will like volunteering to do it. I don't know. I suppose we do. I don't know. I suppose maybe the guards know and the politicians know, but I don't know in that case what's the situation. But there is three of them. That's confirmed. There is three that we know of anyway. But yeah. But as I say, the guards would know about it. Let's put that way. They know a lot more than you and me. They know a lot more than the letting on. Let's put that way. As the majority of the girls in Cavan know, they know a lot more about it than the letting on. So we see what happens, I suppose. But again, as long as again, if they've been forced against their will to be there, etc., there has to be something done about it very soon. It could be true, yeah. There could be traffic. Do we have a Facebook? Yeah, I think everybody needs has Facebook, but not. Yeah, I don't use that much. If that makes any sense. But Henry, how are you doing? If that makes any sense, I don't use it much. Use it every once in a while. I don't do much with it. It's usually just YouTube. If it makes any sense. What screen name? Which one? If that makes sense, I just don't use it at all. Like I don't add anybody on Facebook too. It's just kind of my own private thing. If that makes any sense. No, I just want to move on. No, where am I here? Sorry. So the new council budget is coming up soon. So the interesting thing about this, just to say, is the property tax. Like it's quite a lot of money they've taken. This is just for this year, 12.3 million. Like that's an insane amount of money. Just to say, from just Cavan, that's just Cavan. Like that's insane. Nearly 13 million. And then it says about etc., the expenditure, etc., from the council. Like just thinking about it, 12.3 million is an insane amount of money. I'm sure you would agree. Insane, like astronomical amounts of money. I don't want any pictures. No, I'm fine. Like what are you talking about, anyways? But, like I don't want any pictures. Where am I? Where the fuck was I? What's the something else I missed here? So I had to flick back and then had to go to see. But yeah, no, it's insane amount of money. I'm sure you would agree. That's like quite insane. Because again, the property tax went up by 5% here in Cavan. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So this is a 5% extra than what it usually would be. So hopefully that money be put to good use, as I say. I don't know. I don't know what these are. Of me, no, I don't want any attack you. I'm fine. What was it? So I'm just trying to work out what am I on to now. Oh yeah, Heather Humphreys. So yeah, so last Sunday, Heather Humphreys. Now, just to say, I know a lot of people are saying she probably would go for the presidency. She's not going for the Irish presidency because the Irish presidency elections next year. And I know people have said that she would probably lose her seat, etc., etc. That's not the case because Heather Humphreys always tops the poll in Cavan and Mulligan. Like there was no doubt about that. Heather Humphreys would get elected. There's no question really that she would have got elected. So she's not seeking re-election, which is very surprising for me. And I've said about it in the video the other day. The reason why, because I thought one of the Fianna Fáil TDs would resign, or not resign, but retire. So I'm surprised that Heather Humphreys did it, because again, her seat is safe. She could run until she's 105, and her seat, she still would have a seat. She's the one nearly minister in the government that has really a safe seat that will always be elected because she's always topped the poll, like with thousands and thousands left over in votes, like insane amounts. So it's a huge loss for Fine Gael in Cavan and Monaghan particularly, because obviously he's got a lot of stuff from Monaghan, etc., etc. Had to say the truth. But it is a huge surprise. I'm sure the majority of people in Cavan took that's a huge surprise. Uh, and I kind of agree in this too, as somebody that's like myself, not a politician, but a political activist, etc., etc. It's very hard to keep a work-life balance, even just in lonely life too. Uh, it's all consuming really work nowadays, etc. It's not so much politics, but even just day-to-day 9 to 5 job, it's just all consuming. It's just it's too much on people. You genuinely have to be built like walls to take it. That's what So yeah, so it's a huge loss for Fine Gael, and obviously then 35 of the, like, isn't it 30? No, sorry, I'm mixing myself up. 18 out of the 35 are not seeking re-election for Fine Gael, which is a huge problem because again, there's a huge amount of the politicians gone. Like it's insane. Oh, you're talking about to the TDs, yeah. That was back for Cavendish, yeah. Oh, that was dreadful. Like my hand, I tell you, it was extremely so. Like I was writing 160 letters, along with a few others to politicians one day. Like it was, oh, that was terrible. Like that was atrocious. I can't emphasize. Like I done it on stream too. There's loads of live streams of me just writing away, and it was hard and it was difficult, especially as somebody dyslexia. It's the worst thing imaginable. And you put yourself through so much. It's so much pain, like having to write it, etc., etc. There's just so much. And again, unfortunately, not many people got back to us. It was only six, wasn't it? 6 senators and 2 TDs or something like that. It was unfortunate, but what can you do? I suppose we've done our best. I suppose the effort was put in. I done my best, and at the end of the day, that's what. But I suppose the end of the day it was fun in a way too, as an experiment too, to see would your TDs write back to you. If you say, for example, you sent the letter, take for example, in the morning to your local TD or whoever. If they wrote back to you, take this up. So it was a good experiment, and it wasn't very good because again, I give them 2 weeks nearly notice of it to write back, etc., etc. You know, I'm not dressing up. I notice people go to parties for Halloween and stuff like that. I used to be when I was younger. I used to be, obviously when you're younger, you dress up and stuff, etc. So, but not so much now. I don't, I don't participate in that kind of stuff anymore. But it used to be Halloween discos, etc. From school and stuff I used to go to. But nowadays I don't care. You're going to be Spider-Man, yeah. What was a good thing? There was something relating to Halloween now. What was it? I can't. It's gone on my head. Sorry, apologies. There was something I was going to say about the Halloween in Cavan. Like somebody dressed up in a really cool costume I seen the other day online. That had a huge costume. But stuff. I can't remember now, but it was really, really good. They put a lot of effort into it. Oh, it was Donald Trump. Yeah, it was a Donald Trump. Like it was like you would swear because they homemade it. It wasn't like they bought it online, etc., etc. But they made a homemade costume of Donald Trump, and it was really, really good. Like they must have spent a few hours doing it, like the hair, etc., etc. Like really, really good. Like very detailed, to be totally honest. Well, in what for girl, what vote for which, and what? Yeah, they had to be specific, which and what, and who. Like in terms, so you're talking about the United States election, you said about Kamala Harris, so which one are you talking about? If that makes any sense. Like, try and be specific, because there's hundreds. Like you talk about the judge and the stuff, there's votes for which part from America. I don't know. I'm not an American, but I assume there's some states have early ballots and stuff like that. Like you can vote early. So that's what I presume. There's some states that have early ballots. I presume majority of the United States you can vote early, but I don't think you can vote online. I think it's just early ballots. Like you send in your ballots by the post. If that makes any sense. So you request them. You probably can't do it now, but anyway. So this is another thing, unfortunately, and this is the thing I've said about it many, many times. The Cavan is the highest, the Monaghan has the highest domestic violence in the country, really, apart from Dublin. And it's very sad to see, especially because I could name you 6 or 7 people that I know that were being in an abusive relationship, etc., with their partner, with their husband, etc. So that's a very sad thing that's going on. Especially when you see this, like that's just in Cavan and Monaghan. That's just 2 counties in Ireland. Monaghan is about, I don't know, it must be, this is 50 or so thousand people, and Cavan has nearly 100,000 people. So about 157,000, maybe you could say, in the 2 counties. Maybe 100, yeah, something like that, over 100,000 anyway. Let's put it that way. And that's quite a number just for the constituency last year. It's quite a number, and especially because the saddest thing about it is a lot of women that are trying to get away from them husbands, etc., in domestic violence case. Some of them have no family, they have no relations, etc. And there's no kind of refuge. Other counties have refuge like Setos for them to go to for a few days when they sort things out, etc. Because it takes time to sort things out. There was one case in Cavan. I'm not going to go into too much specifics about it, but it was a man and a woman, a man and a wife, basically, and the wife owned 50% of the house, and he owned 50% of the house. So you know they had to go to court about it, etc. Like it took years for it to be sorted out. Because the two of them owned, equal share in the house, if that makes any sense. The two of them bought it equally, basically. So basically, not one of them owned the whole house. They bought it together. So the situation like that, and it's very difficult. And I do feel for these people because it's a lot of people sit in silence for a long time and put up with it for a long time. It's a very sad situation. But the next thing we have to ask is, why is this happening? What is making people, like, I know it's been in a relationship, everybody has an argument, etc., with the husband or with the wife, it's part of being in a relationship. But particularly some of these cases, if you hear them, the ferry, the stove, and etc., so there's coercive control, take example, they're taking the money off the wife, etc., not giving her any money, denying her food, denying her going out to the shop, denying her go for a walk. It's extremely sad. It's like modern day slavery in some cases. And the question has to be asked, why is this so prevalent in Irish society? And we have to kind of get to the bottom of it. We have to try and do something. Especially the one thing that we have to do in Cavan and Monaghan is get a refuge set up. If we do that, then it would be great. If we could just even achieve that. It would be good. Yeah, I just seen that. But what do you want? Like, I wouldn't send me any inappropriate photo or whatever, or anything like that, because I would just ban you. So, um, uh, oh, but yeah, no, as I was saying with domestic violence thing, we do have to try and get on top of it, because especially because there's a thing. Yeah, I wouldn't even send me a photo yourself because I didn't ask for it or anything. So I wouldn't send anything basically. Whatever you have to say to me, say it here. If that makes any sense. If that makes any sense. Is that fair enough? What was it? Sorry. So speaking about the election, etc. So as we see here, the two with Conn Smith's Park in October there, €82,000. It's funny how this was just announced before the election. There was loads of talk about this for eons, for years, particularly Conn Smith's Park. I've talked about it before for must be 5 years at this stage. They were talking about doing this, doing that, doing the other. And then nothing was ever done. Basically, there was a skateboard park built, but that was about it. So it's funny how the election's coming along. And, there's a big push. At the moment, there's a big push to get it done. So it's quite insane. And especially because it is a lot of money. 80,000 is a lot of money for this. But it's good if they do it. But the long story short, I do think when the election's all said and done, it'll be all forgotten. That's what I think is going to happen. But it would be good because, again, a baseball court is very needed because there's a lot of young people in Cavan who have nothing to do on the weekends. And something like that would be great for young people. Like the same as the skateboard park in Cavan. It is well used. A lot of young people use it. That's what it's there for. Facility for games, etc., etc. So hopefully, what's the saying? Hopefully that it'll go ahead and hopefully be done. But the thing I don't like about this is because it's just starting now, basically, before the election. As I said, they've on about it for years. It makes any sense. Yeah. Where am I? Sorry now. Oh yeah, talking about Fine again, but I probably should have mentioned this when I was here. So the Fine Gael conference was last night in Cavan, deciding who's going to win in the election. Fine Gael. Excuse me, my throat is going. Take the last bit. See, that's what happens when I just don't stop speaking. So basically, two councillors in Cavan, David Max and Councillor T.P. O'Reilly, are going to one. So Fine Gael, instead of usually one Fine Gael member for Dáil Éireann, there's going to be two. So Fine Gael are very confident they can get 2 seats in Cavan, and Simon Howard said so. They're very confident they can get 2 seats, which I don't think it's possible. Maybe they're hoping that people vote for 2 people because I don't know. But it's very weird because I don't think any of them are going to get in, to be totally honest. Because obviously there's a free seat. I don't know. It's hard to know what the way it's going to go. But Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael did well in Cavan in the last local authority election. So it's hard to know. But I don't foresee it. Maybe Councillor T.P. O'Reilly again. I don't know about David Maxwell. He could. Don't get me wrong. But T.P. O'Reilly is more well known, etc. So it's possible. It might happen. I don't know. It's kind of a coin flip, really. It's hard to know who's going to get in. Because the only thing that was really guaranteed was Heather Humphreys would retain her seat. And obviously she's gone now and not going to seek re-election. So, beats me, if you don't answer. Keith Buds is big. I'd be fooling after. Where am I now? Sorry. I know there's that much here. Probably people are getting overwhelmed with the other stuff I'm talking about. See, I'm kind of watching through a good few of it, trying to get speaking about because there's more things I have to talk about later on. Where was it? Oh yeah, Slieve was about it in Ballyconnell. So as you can see, it's quite a big hotel. So good news on it. I was afraid. I didn't know. I was afraid of somebody from outside the county buying it. But the good news is a poster from Cavan the bought. He's from Wet Hills. And the good story about this is he left for Australia in the 70s to go to Australia to make his millions. And the good thing about it now, he's coming home and he's bought the Slieve Russell. So it's great to see a Cavan man come home from Australia to come home and buy Slieve Russell. So it's a great thing to see. It's really, really good. Now, everybody in Cavan's delighted. And especially because Sean Quinn would have a back row, like a back door into the hotel, I suppose, in a way. Because the Pharaoh knew Sean Quinn back in the day, etc., etc. So, he has a back door, basically. So pretty much, it's back in Cavan ownership, basically. It still belongs to people in Cavan, so that's great. And it's quite a big hotel too, so it's great to see. And it's 35 million is a lot of money. But it's good to see, and it's a good hotel, and it's a nice place. As you see the river, it's nice scenery around. It's a great place. So I'm happy that there's a spot by Cavan. I won't be in Lisbon anyway. Don't worry. I won't be in Lisbon anyway, so don't worry. It's too warm in Lisbon. It'd be far too warm in Lisbon. I was going to say in Australia, in Portugal. Sorry, not Australia. Lisbon's not in Australia. There could be actually probably a place called Lisbon in Australia, but who knows? So we were talking about the hate crime. I suppose we'll talk about this in a few minutes because it's probably a big discussion to be had about it. So this is to do with the Irish Navy at the moment. So as you know, they only have one base in Cork, as it says here. So they're planning for a new naval base in Dunleary. So these are the boats that we bought from New Zealand. These are the two. This is one of the boats we bought. So it's weird, I suppose. That in Dunleary, I was hoping they would probably build a base in Donegal somewhere, but it's weird why they chose Dunleary. That's what I find about this. It's weird that they done it. I would have thought more Donegal, Sligo. I don't get why they did it, but fair enough. Because again, Cork that's the only naval base for the Irish Navy. So I don't know why they did it, but who knows? Yeah, no bother. Yeah, well, maybe the Navy ships can do it. Maybe they have two Navy ships doing that, maybe. But who are they going to man the ships? Because there's always having two ships there, but there's no manpower to put on them. They can't operate them because there's nobody there doing the Navy. Having a big discussion about the UFC. Where was that? Sorry. So yeah, you probably done. So we probably see no. But I was thinking more Sligo, Donegal, because again the main naval base is in Cork. So if there's something wrong, say in Donegal, off the coast of Donegal, the Navy ship have to go out from Cork Harbour up to Donegal. So at least they're going to have two, but these two patrol boats, obviously they're very lightly armed, etc., etc. And I hardly doubt there's much, like the main worry for Ireland and security on the oceans and the high seas is from Cork up to Donegal, that part of the country. Not so much Loud to Dublin, down that side, like in between the Island of Man and Ireland. Not so much there, because, the Royal Navy is about too. So it's curious too why they did it, because again, not much trouble happens in the Irish Sea. Because, again, the Royal Navy are patrolling a lot of the Irish Sea. And obviously they're a lot more intimidating, bigger ships, etc., etc. So it's curious why they did it. It's hard to know why they did it. Yeah, no, it's up to you. Whichever you want, it's 100%. Oh, that's UFC fight on Saudi Arabia. Oh. Take a glass of me milk. Yeah, it seems strange because I would understand, like but the cargo ship that was seized by the Army Rangers. It's more out in the Atlantic that needs to be navy, like a naval patrol, because that's more the Irish territorial waters more than it's only a short bit of territory water, because obviously Island of Man is the UK, etc., etc. So it's only a short bit of coastline there to patrol. It's more so the big, huge coast from Cork, even from Waterford to Donegal. That's a huge coastline, along with a huge amount of area to cover. So it's weird why they chose that. I would have chose some place in Donegal to base the ships out of, or Sligo, or even Galway, because there's a naval base in Cork, so you don't really need another one. So it's peculiar why they've done it there, but But again, especially because these two ships are just basically small patrol ships, not of any significance. Like they're not big, huge ships to do anything. They couldn't really stop anybody if they wanted to really too. Wait here, wait a minute. Where was I? Sorry. Yeah, Walkall, yeah. Yeah, I don't think they could base Navy ships into Walkall now, because that's technically British British territory. Um, yeah, like technically the Walk belongs to Britain. That's the thing. Basically that area's belong to the United Kingdom, territorial waters of the United Kingdom. But I don't understand why they did it. But I suppose in a way it's good that they invest in some way in the navy, even though they should be probably paying the men and women of the navy more than building another naval base. When they don't have the people to put on the ships. Um, Curious picture too, a mouse. So this is the two with the return Barker scheme. So apparently 600 and something million or something like that containers. There's OTE said. No, sorry. I'm spreading misinformation. It's 400, nearly 600. I'm nearly right. Probably by the end of next year, it'll be 600 something. So 460 million is a lot. And it's quite good. It is a good machine. I've used it a few times. It's good enough. You get your money back. It's good thing you recycling. That's the main thing. The trouble is there's so much money unclaimed, etc., etc. So that's the issue. But the other thing is, this I could somebody that walks on the streets. Now we're not on the streets, but walks as a cleanup person on the streets. I can't tell you the amount of people who are rummaging through bins, etc., etc., to get the cans, etc., etc., in the bottom bins. It's insane. People have got mad really doing it. Like I've seen people with literally big bags of stuff come from their houses to go and do it. Like they've gotten a bit mad doing it too, the way. But it's suppose it's good in the way too. But so probably will be. But it's suppose it has worked. When it started off, it was kind of slow. So it's kind of working. So at least the government's done something kind of right, in a way. Hello, Tony. Good evening. How are we doing? Hope you're well. Hope all is well tonight with you, Tony. Hope you're having a good Saturday so far. So this is to do with Sinn Féin, so Brian Stanley, as we know, we talked about a good bit already. So apparently it was sexual harassment. So it seems like Sinn Féin's just literally are blowing themselves up at the moment. They literally are doing bad in the polls. And there's two Sinn Féin TDs have left the party. As I said, Brian Stanley, and there was another one from Offaly. They have left the party. So to having two TDs leave you and say they're not happy with the party, and then obviously you have a senator too that was texting inappropriately to young boys, etc., etc. So obviously very big concerns. Then obviously Merridan McDonagh too. Taken up for the senator to try and basically taken up for the senator instead of the young lad. It's quite egregious, but so who knows? Who knows what's happening really? Because I don't think we've been told the whole lot of what's happened. I presume there's more to it. So who knows? We've probably been left some information out, but it's a big mess. And if this is true, obviously Brian Stanley should be sent to prison if he did commit crimes like this. But it's quite severe, especially because it happened a while ago and it wasn't put forward to straight away to Garda Síochána O'Connor, etc., etc. Sinn Féin sat in it for a while. So we see what happens. We don't know really. So we wait and see, I suppose, in that time. Yeah, glass boxes would be better, like 100%. It was a sin that time when they had glass boxes, they got rid of it. But they never thought about because plastic's not that good. It takes a long time to decompose, etc. Glass can be reused, washed out, and reused a lot better. But the worst thing about when glass smashes, it's just a big mess. That's the worst thing about it. And obviously, it's dangerous too. If somebody throws that, just a lot more dangerous than You know, only can it makes any sense. Yeah, like it is. Like I know that's what I'm saying, Sean. Not even people from other countries, it's Irish people too. I've come across literally women in their 30s rummaging through bins in the town. I've literally come across that. I've literally seen it. Like there's literally people going around every minute of the day in the town. Um, like let me show you. Like, would say this is the light here, this big. Um, and they're literally going like this. They're going like that into the bin to see what's in the bin, etc., etc. Like it's insane stuff. Like it's generally insane stuff. Like they're literally looking into bins with lights, except like unbelievable. But you get what I'm saying. UFO guy. I presume he's probably playing Xbox, so he's up to something. He's what's it called? What's the one? He's playing like video games. That's what I'm trying to say. Where's Mark and Bitwin? I actually haven't seen probably Bitwin or Mark since before I went to Finland, which is a while ago. I remember Bitwin being in one of the streams actually after I came back, so that's a few months ago now. But apart from that, I don't know who Tony Bitwin is. Gordon, I presume Gordon probably doesn't know we're live. Because again, I didn't really give much notice tonight, so I presume that's the reason why. What was in which regard? That's a very open statement. Like, are you saying for me, or what's there to see? Like, in terms of what, basically? Because it's a very open statement. We can take it in many cases. But yeah, there's some videos up on my channel I've put up about it. I don't know if you've been here since we went to Finland or whatever. Yeah, and well, not even that. He probably didn't know. He was probably expecting us to go live Wednesday, and I didn't. You know, the usual thing. So I presume you see him anyway. You see him soon, I think. He probably ponder in maybe. Time's going back tomorrow night too, so I don't know what's the story of that here. Tonight. It's going back tonight. Sorry, I'm doting. Is it tonight or tomorrow night? Does anybody know? We'll get to this in a second. But this. So I talked about this many times at this stage. This is to do with a former Fine Gael councillor, Lord Mayor. He stole 172,000 for a mental health charity in Meath. The case has been adjourned to the 6th of December. So we should see what happens here. But long story short, he should go to prison for a long time for this. Out of any other charity, and particularly for people in Cavan, everybody in Cavan would agree with me on this. Any charity to do with mental health, etc., so it's very important because we've seen so many young people kill themselves the last few years in Cavan. And for a person that's over a charity to steal the money for himself is unforgivable. And being a former councillor and a Lord Mayor, it's shameful that he done something like this, really. So hopefully that he'll be sent to prison for a while. But again, hopefully Fine Gael doesn't put him up for election because that's what they could do either. But we see. But long story short, he should go to prison. Is my chat gone? Oh, it's. It didn't show up for a second, chat. Everything's fine again. Everything's fine. So this is to do with the Cavan Monaghan bombings, independent of what's known my location. So this is to do with the Cavan Monaghan bombings more than 50 years ago, which I believe at this stage, 1970, 74, and then the Beltoba bombing too. So obviously there's inquiries going on at the moment into who done this, especially the Beltoba one. There's huge inquiries made about that now at the moment. But I agree with Brendan Smith in this, that it does seem that the British government they're being more open than they were back years ago. I will give them that. But obviously we know that's the volunteer force did the bombing about all, but everybody knows that. They're probably the same with the Dublin Monaghan bombing. But it's the fact of the matter that the British government have something to do with it, the British intelligence service or the British army. Because there's no way they could have snuck a bomb in the back of a car through County Fermanagh during the Troubles in the 70s to go and put a bomb in Beltoba. There's no way they could have done it without the British Army's help, without the PSNI or the OIC's help. There's no way they could have done it without British assistance from the military or the intelligence service. So definitely the British government have something to hide in terms of the Cavan and the Monaghan and Clonus bombings. There's something definitely that's hidden there that the British government don't want to come out. So obviously we know a bit more than we did before, but still not good enough. There's still documents relating to the bombings that the British government have, etc., etc., and the information that they have that they're not going to give, basically, and they're not very forthcoming to give it out. So the only thing I could say is hopefully the British government would change that. Because again, there's still people who want justice and should get justice. And the people that were killed in the bombings, they deserve justice too. They deserve the truth to come out. Even though, again, the majority, the people who probably did the bombings are long dead probably by now. The truth should come out anyway. As simple as that, because there's people still relating to them that are alive, and they deserve the truth. So hopefully someday we can find out, the real truth, and hopefully the British government will just hand over all the documents the Irish government requests of them, and the inquiries request of them. So this is to do with the cameras. I talked about this in the last live stream too. I know this is a lot of local issues, etc., etc., but it's important for me to talk about local issues because I have a huge opinion on local issues. So this is to do with these cameras on the road. So this is speed cameras, average speed safety cameras. Now they're between the N3 going up to Dublin, basically, Canada from Bills, which is on the N3 going up to Virginia, basically. And there's some other parts of the country there too. So hopefully this will stop, because again, there's a lot of people literally on the N3. They're going mad, like they literally are mad. They're going 200 miles an hour in the middle of the night on the road. It's a miracle how many people haven't been killed on the N3. But hopefully this does some good, and hopefully it's worth the expense, because it seems to be a good bit of money they're spending on putting these cameras up. So hopefully, we get it. Hopefully it stops, or maybe to cover discourages people from speeding over the speed limit. Hopefully, we should see, but. So now we get on to the incitement, the hatred of violence, criminal offence bill. So this was the other day. So this is basically the other part of the hate speech legislation, not the hate speech legislation itself, but the incitement bit that Helen McAtee was down to. So this is the hate crime element, basically. So as you see, it was passed a good bit of 70s. There's a good few of them not there, but it was passed nearly overwhelmingly by the mainstream government parties. So as I say, Helen McAtee said, absolutely believes that the Dáil will consider further introducing hate speech laws. So this is the next government, what we're expecting, particularly the hate speech bill. I'm more concerned about. Obviously, this bill isn't great either, to be totally honest. Particularly the element that it relates to gender. Basically, it could be 700 genders, basically, which is insane. Basically, it acknowledges that it's nearly 70 genders. That you have 70 genders. It's insane, but that's in legal law now. That there's 70 genders apparently. That's the main issue I have with it. There's some other issues with it, but that's the main issue. The main issue of the night. Also, we have 10 likes on stream. Thank you, everyone. I've just seen that. So I was too busy yapping on for a long time about different things. I take a bit of a breather because my throat is dying. I know it might be going a bit fast too, just to say so. But here's the thing: is people going to vote in the election? Like, there's anybody here, I suppose. You don't really have to say if you don't want to, but we are looking forward to vote. I say, if that makes sense. That's the best way to put it. Because I know there's a lot of people on Cavan just fucking sick of it all and just couldn't be asked to go and vote. Does anybody feel like that, I suppose? I don't know if that music's getting annoying for people. um, yeah, we probably should get to that. So this is to do. Now, this is a very, very sad case. An online abuser destroyed a US girl's life. Uh, so she was only 12 and she committed suicide. So basically, it's like catfishing. And I probably won't go down any further because it's very disturbing. Um, like information what this fellow did to this poor woman, this young lassie, and her father committed suicide after her because he couldn't deal with losing his daughter. And this person that did it was some County Armagh, and he's done it to many other people. So the only thing I can wish um, on the person that did this is, he's going for 30 years to prison in Northern Ireland. Uh, to be totally honest, he should walk in prison for the rest of his life. And that's just what it's true, because it's and these people do exist. That they abuse people online, they catfish them, they abuse them, and things. It goes into coercive control. What I was talking about earlier on, like controlling them, making them do things against their will. You know, it's evil stuff. Like that's what this is. It's just evil stuff. And this poor young lassie's dead, unfortunately now. Um, it's a sin. It is a sin. And then a poor father too is dead. So it's dreadful stuff. It's dreadful. But yeah, I won't go into the rest of the details because it's quite sad. Um, but yeah, she got out. I don't even know what you would call that individual. I suppose you would call it. But yeah, she was up in court for threatening to kill her cellmates, etc., etc. Um, and basically all charges are dropped. Basically, yeah, like that's what it was. It's just taking the fact that she's young, vulnerable children. She's only 12 years old, and you can just imagine um, what that monster, the person on the other side of the computer screen, was doing to her, and he's in her from the other side of the world, what he was trying to make her do, etc., etc. Like, be totally honest, that's why there should be uh, death row in this country, the way they should be, and the same in Northern Ireland there should be, because he probably should be going to death row, to be totally honest. That's as far. That's really what he doesn't deserve to spend any time in prison. He deserves to be, hung. To be totally honest, that's the way I would go. Because it's just purely evil. It's not just one case; it's many cases he was involved in, and it doesn't matter if it's not just one case. And I suppose that's just to clarify that he still is responsible for taking that young girl's life, and then her father too. A few months later, couldn't cope with losing his poor daughter. Um, you know, just absolutely evil stuff. I'd probably be west of misgendering people, but anyway. Um, in terms of the other case, not in terms of the case in Tom, but the other case. But no, you really, when you see them kind of things, you lose trust in humanity. That's really what you do. You really do lose trust. And yeah, something like that, yeah. Um, yeah, like that's what you pretended. Like I would say to people, be careful reading the article because it's quite graphic, etc., etc. That's why I didn't say any more about it because it's quite graphic. Um, yeah, like it's insane. But anyway, I had a McAtee be after me now in the morning. Um, so yeah, we move along from that dark news. But as I say, we should um, in terms of these things that particularly affect young people. And trying to group young people, etc., etc. We have to be vicious when it comes to prosecuting these people that do things online, etc., etc., against young children, etc., etc., catfish them, etc., etc. Be more brutal in how we deal with them. Um, like 30 years is not good enough, basically. But hopefully, it'd be minimum for 30 years. But hopefully, he'd be kept there for life. That person that did. I wouldn't even call him a person. He's the devil, basically. Um, but yeah, no, it's despicable. It's generally despicable. Um, so moving on, I suppose, to a bit more better, like light-hearted subjects, I suppose. So the Tony Blair Institute have opened a new regional headquarters in American Washington D.C. So it's funny, and a journalist was talking about this the other day too. It's quite funny because the Tony Blair Institute was never known, it was never. I knew nothing about the Tony Blair Institute until Santa Marin joined it. To be totally honest, I knew nothing about it. I didn't even know it existed. Let's put it that way. They were that irrelevant. So as soon as Santa Marin joins, they actually get new headquarters in America, etc., etc. So literally, as soon as Santa Marin joins, everything gets better in the Tony Blair Institute. So as you can see, like this devil, and then these other devils. But the only person that's actually any addition is Santa Marin here. The rest of them are no good. They're good for nothing. But Santa Marin's only for Santa Marin, the Tony Blair Institute should be bankrupt and gone. It's only for Santa, I fair to say they wouldn't have jobs. So speaking of Santa, etc., etc., Santa Marin is going to get the order of what's it called, the North Star, the highest possible award in Sweden for service. And you're probably like, Sweden, why is she getting an award in Sweden? I'll tell you now in a second. But long story short, it's very impressive. Particularly, she's only the second Finn in Finnish history to get this. And you probably wonder who was the first person. It was Carl Gustaf Mannerheim. He was awarded this by the Swedish king, for good service to Finland, etc., etc., and obviously being a neighbour. So Carl Gustaf Mannerheim, and soon to be Sanna Marin, the former Prime Minister of Finland, is the second Finn in Finnish history to get Sweden's highest award for her work in helping Sweden get into NATO. Now, the other Cretans, Anthony Blinken and the former UN Secretary General, no, not the NATO Secretary General, sorry, they probably shouldn't be getting it. And it's very demeaning in a way, too. And I would say this to the Swedish king, that Sanna Marin should have been getting it on her own instead of the other two, because it kind of is very degrading, in my opinion. Sanna Marin should be the only one getting it. The other two don't deserve it, which is why they put her name first. Sanna Marin's name comes first, because the other two are just kind of patsies. They're only coming in after everything's done. But long story short, it's a credit to Sanna Marin, of course. If this would like to load, as she says here, it's a great honor to receive this award. Takes 1,000. And particularly the funny thing is, it's a funny way she said it. Takes 1,000. Because a lot of people, like Irish, they say takes 1,000,000. So I don't know why she's speaking Irish a bit, because that's usually what people say. It takes 1,000,000 here, well, it takes 1,000,000. So she's speaking a bit of Irish here. So we're credit to Lapland. Are you going to give me the money, Tony? Where's the money? So that's the highest award in Sweden for medals. So again, she's only the second Finn in Finnish history to get it. So think about that for a moment. It's quite a medal. Again, it's the highest award you can be given in Sweden. So this is yesterday, and now going into about the museums. Now this is just so if you just read this yourself here. So the place where Mannerheim was born, this place here, Mannerheim's Birthplace Museum. They're going to close that, but they're going to keep the Lenin Museum open. So this is the biggest scandal in Finland at the moment. Like literally, people are up in arms at the moment over it, because closing like Carl Gustav Mannerheim is regarded as the greatest Finn of all times. Basically, he's the same level as Michael Collins in terms of in Irish terms, on the same level. He's pretty much the national hero of Finland. Basically, makes any sense, along with Sanna Marin, of course. So it is the sin why they're closing this, and particularly Carl Gustav Mannerheim, done a lot for Finland's independence, etc., etc. And the rather keep the Lenin Museum open than it really just shows the true Finns, and the National Coalition is supposed to be for the Finns, we're true Finns, we care about Finland, we want Finland to be for the Finnish, etc., etc. But they're not practicing what they preach, because it's two-tier society here. And then obviously then you have underneath it, they're going to cut even more. So people that are fun about the moment, they're going to just cut their allowances for housing and probably put them out in the street. So the Finnish government are doing great work. So we'll talk about the museum stuff. So this is the next stuff. But no, it wasn't. But you know what I'm saying? You know the way Irish people say "tykes a million." She said "tykes 1,000." So I don't know, because it's not common to hear something like that from a Finnish person. If that makes any sense. It's not common. Like yourself, like "tykes 1,000." So I don't get it. There wouldn't be, because usually Finnish people. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? A bit weird, But okay. But obviously, well deserved compared to the other two that's getting it. And then, as I say, Carl Gustav Mannerheim was the only Finn that ever got it. The same as Sanna Marin would be the second Finn in Finnish history to ever get it, which is quite something. I'm sure you would agree. But yeah, going into the museum. So what is this? Add remove. So the coalition government, the true Finns, etc., etc. So I suppose we start off with this over here. So you probably remember this from pictures that I took. I was here. This is the big statue of Carl Gustav Mannerheim on the Mannerheim Isma, which is the basically national mall, basically, in Finland, the Helsinki, the main street in Helsinki. So this is a huge fucking statue, just to put in perspective. Like, this is massive. Like, this is the size of a house, just to say. Because that's how redeemed Mannerheim is. So, as the Social Democratic Party have said to the Prime Minister and the Minister of Cities, will the Mannerheim statue go next? Because at this stage, they just hate Finland. They hate everything about Finland, the current Finnish government. They just hate everybody in Finland. They're just determined to destroy Finland. So the Social Democratic Board demands that the Prime Minister and the Minister of Cities cancel the cultural cuts. And, as I said in the tweet earlier on, it's quite insane, because they're cutting it by 3.2 million. But guess how much they're saving? Out of all these cuts, the 3.3 million they're cutting and closing down these places, guess how much they're saving? They're only saving 30,000, like 300,000, sorry, 300,000 euro. Even though they're cut by 3.2 million. So it still doesn't make sense, because it's not logical what they're doing. And particularly because, again, these have historic significance to Finnish culture and to Finnish society, and for tourists and for members of the public. Take, for example, this. It's an open-air museum. It's an island museum. I was going to go to when I go back to Finland. Unfortunately, probably won't, because it'd be closed. But basically, there's 90 old Finnish huts, basically, from back in the day, while Finnish people used to the old wooden houses, etc., etc. So basically, like going back in time 200 years, basically. And it's a really historical island, etc., etc. Because it's all old Finnish houses, etc., etc. And it'd be great. It was great, and I was looking forward to going to when I went back next year. But unfortunately, it looks like that's going to be closed, and everybody who worked there is going to be sacked because it's time to cut. Like, the only thing is it's time to cut it. That's the only solution. Just cut everything. Because at this stage, that's what goes. And then obviously Mannerheim's birthplace, the castle in there, which is just insane. As the like mention this, like this, the Social Democratic Party are calling out the true Finns. Like, they're supposed to be for the Finns, the true Finns, etc., etc. This doesn't seem to be for the Finns. They seem to be everything but the Finns. Um, uh, yeah, like the culture funds have already gone too far. So first of all, this is a few months ago. They cut all the theatres. Loads of theatres around Finland closed because it's time to cut. Because why not? Because it just cut everything at this stage. Literally make people die in the street. Basically, that's like I don't get it. Like all of this is just insanity. What they're trying to do, threatening the closures. Now they turn to the museums. Like they're turning to every part of Finnish society, just going cutting everything. Reasonable affairs. But the question is Marshall Mannerheim really able to defend Finnish culture for the grave? Like at this point, they would nearly go to his grave and dig him up and throw him in the lake. That's nearly what they would do to like the current Finnish government. They seem to just absolutely hate Finnish people with a passion. Like it's quite insane, especially this too. It's quite, and a majority of Finnish people would say the same because there's absolutely uproar over this. Like there's absolutely just pandemonium in Finland at the moment with this, that they dare to do such a thing. That he has to come and defend now Finland from the grave because they're cutting everything. As it says here, they're cutting 3.2 million for the National Museum Society, and they're going to close multiple places, basically. All for the saving of €300,000, just to say. And then loads of people are going to lose their jobs too. There's something like 100 and something workers are going to lose their jobs because of it. Because it's time to cut, like it's just quite insane. Like it doesn't make any sense why they're doing this. Especially because again, if they got away with it, probably would take down the statue and all that. Because they seem to absolutely hate Finnish people for whatever reason. No, is it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why would you cut 3.2 million when you're only getting 300,000 back? You're not even breaking even. So why are you doing it? And particularly because again, it's just insane. And then it gets worse from there, like because it always gets worse in Finland. But the thing is, and this is the thing we need to understand. Last year they cut €9 billion in public funds, right? €9 billion in public funds, and they said we're going to get rid of the debt, etc., etc. Guess what? The debt has gone up by 162%. So how has the debt gone up by 162% after they cut billions in public expenditure? And basically, we found out last year that didn't work, basically. So why are they doing it this year? Why are they continuing just doing it when it simply didn't work last year? So why is it going to work this year? And it hasn't. It's not working. The debt keeps going up. Yeah, but this is the best thing. Guess what they want other people to do? So they want people, like the museums that are open, they want people to volunteer. So people would, getting paid to do it and know all about the museum, like tour guides, etc., etc. The government have the balls. Just listen to this. They're going around asking people would they work for nothing? Would they work a 40-hour week for nothing? The government not going to give you anything for it. But we want you to work for nothing. So basically, for example, this is Mannerheim's home house. You learned everything. You studied Mannerheim in school, etc., etc. You've done special courses knowing everything about how you enter the house. The government now wants you to work for nothing. They want you to basically not get any money for it. Of course, all the museums in Finland. They want people basically to work for nothing, 40 hours a week, and pay you nothing. So this is very good. So they want you to own nothing and be happy, basically. Which is great because again, this is literally what they've gone around and said. So you can see why people are very upset because again, they basically want all the museum staff in every part of Finland, in every museum in the country of Finland, to work for nothing. Think about that. Yeah, like the true Finns seem to be determined too because these are tourist hotspots too. Like I said to you before, there's a Finnish MEP. Not an MEP, sorry. There's a member of parliament in Finland, and he's part of the True Finns. And he's like, we shouldn't be bringing in tourists to the country. And you're just like, what? Why do they want to get rid of tourists too? They don't like tourists too. Like, only for me and other people that went this year to Finland, they wouldn't have had 400 million in the Finnish economy. That's how much tourism was worth this year in the Finnish economy. And the True Finns just want to get rid of it. Because it's just logic, it doesn't make any sense, but whatever they take. But that's nice of them. They want people to work for nothing. So that's great of them. So they have the best government in Finland. And it gets worse, of course, as the majority of Finnish people in Finland, the majority of everywhere in Finland, the public are very blunt with this. That everybody's just lost trust in this government in Finland, and everybody's sick and fucking tired of them, and want an end to them and want them gone. Because it's an overwhelming. Just get this government out, get them out. If there's an election in the morning, they're going to get hammered into the next century, because they're just literally fucked up in fears. They want to charge people for water. Now they want to close the museums. Next week they want to do something else, and then the other week after they're going to do something else to fuck everybody over. People are just absolutely fucking sick of them and want an end to them. So it's completely jovial, is the total answer of this government. Two beers get locked. I'll get them. So give me a moment. See, it's a lot of just talk. We'll soon finish then for tonight. That's the good thing. There's a lot more things I could talk about, but so just to add one more thing, just what the Minister said us at the moment says at the whole situation in Finland. So here we are in the government, all the same bullshit. But basically, I don't give a shit. Fuck you all, basically. That's pretty much. And this is the Minister of Finance in Finland. So it's fair to say she's the one causing all this insanity, because there is money. There's lines in there because there's no money. There's loads of money, but they just won't give them because, the only thing she wants to do in life, because again, they might as well say the Minister of Cities. The only thing she wants to do in life is cutting stuff. She likes cutting, so she likes seeing red numbers because it's time to cut. We have to sit us out. It's time to cut. And that's pretty much it. And that's really the only reason why everything's fucked up. We can relax for a few minutes. How does that sound, everyone? Relax for a few minutes, because my throat is gone. I can't say much more tonight because I'm dying. Yeah, that's how with the cities. That's the Minister of Cities. She literally calls herself the Minister of Cities. So, there's never such thing as economic growth at all, because she likes just cutting everything. She's the one signing off on all this, just to say. She's the one signing off. She's the one behind the madness. You see it with the cities. That's the same with the Minister of Finance, the leader of the true Finns. Supposed to be for the Finns, we're looking after the Finnish people. We're doing some looking after, everybody's being fucked over. So I don't know what's wrong with this woman. For the Finns. Why am I doing that? Sorry, just give me a second. Sorry. Just checking something on me. What do you call it? On the Twitter. Where is that on the Twitter? Well, no, there was still always kind of bits of fucking bollocks to be done. They never were any good. She was always a bit of a tool, anyway. She had a cutting board before, and I'm sure you've seen the image. Before the election, had cutting boards saying we're going to cut everything. So I don't think they ever will, to be done. They're just basically going mad. They basically they were always out. Even when I was over there, they weren't the greatest people to talk to. Let's put it that way. But how would I put this? Like they're always kind of fucked up anyway. Let's put it that way. There's nothing ever really good about them. Because they generally just seem to be insane people. So I don't think they were ever war good. Let's put it that way. Because they generally don't seem to give a shit about Finnish people, basically. What I'm trying to say. Because all the if you've seen the whole lot of it, like if I was a city for 900 years, it's insane stuff. I did meet a true Finn. He was the Speaker of the House in Finland. I did meet him. Met him there at the Finnish Parliament, but they always kind of were a bit a bit of a fucking cut the place. If that makes sense in the nicest possible term, because that's what they were up to. Especially because again, guess who they got rid of? They got rid of poor Sanna. If Sanna was here, if Sanna was there now in Finland, things would be a lot better. Because they generally don't seem to give a shit about Finnish people. Generally. But that's about it. Sorry. We can chill out for the moment. How does that sound? Because my throat's gone. Here we are. Oi, people. Oi, son. Who wrote which what? Who wrote what? Sorry. What is this? Yeah, but this is the thing that's supposed to be like the what would you call them? Like they are extreme far right. They wouldn't call them communists because literally a woman, the leader of the True Finns, she's dressed like somebody out of the SS many times, and she worships Hitler. The True Finns are known for being Hitler supporters. Like the people that we talked about before, the wanted to kidnap Sanna Marin, they have swastika flags and they were True Finns. I don't know what's wrong with them. Because all this is the thing you need to understand, Sean, and everybody. Like all these cuts, last year the cut, like when they got into government force and Sanna Marin left office, they cut everything, like they cut everything, like just to get rid of the debt, basically. And the fact of the matter is that failed because the debt went up by 162%. As we speak now, Finland's debt is the highest in the European Union, just to say. Of all the countries in the European, Albania and stuff is doing better in debt. Greece is doing better this year in debt than Finland. So out of all the cuts they did, and that was the main thing in the government, let's just cut everything, and the debt will go away. It didn't. It went up. It went up by 162%. Imagine all the time Sanna Marin was in government for 4 years. They've done that literally within a year. Think about that. The debt. Like the debt has went up. Like even Sanna Marin in 4 years didn't do the debt. They did in less than a year. And the debt still keep going up. And they're still determined to cut it because it simply isn't working, basically. Because it didn't happen last year. The debt didn't go down. It keeps going up and they keep cutting. And basically, it's not making a difference. That's what I'm trying to say. So all these cuts, the same to the museums, is making no difference. I think even economists, somebody from the Department of Finance in Finland said it makes a 0.5 difference in the Finnish economy and the debt. That's all, 0.5. 0.5, not the 1.5, 0.5. So basically, it's just nonsensical shit because it's not working, basically, what they're doing. It's just total insanity. That's what it is. It's just literally the definition of insanity because they don't understand that it's just not working. It's just not working. Like somebody, and especially because the woman that's over the finance is the Minister of Sitters. She likes cutting stuff. Like she's literally going around with pictures. She's going around the left and right of Finland with sitters saying, I'm going to cut this, I'm going to cut that. Like this is the woman signing off on all these cuts, just to say, because it's time to cut. And that's pretty much it. The truth is, they just want to cut everything. Like as I say about Mannerheim, take example, he's the same as Michael Collins here. They must absolutely hate him for some reason because they want to, they have to close in his birthplace, his museum, his birthplace, etc., etc. Like it's insanity. And historical sites, like typical Separate Island that I was talking about, I was going to go to this year coming, has old Finnish houses from 200 years ago, because I was showing how Finnish life was 200 years ago. They seem to absolutely hate that too. They hate anything to do with Finnish culture. They just want to shut it all down and fire everybody. That's pretty much it. And then if you look at the other hand, you have all the people that are literally, for the first time in Finnish history, there's that many people looking for food of charities. Like, I could go on, but literally all this basically, for all the suffering that they're causing, etc., of people, and people losing their jobs, etc., and losing their livelihoods, it basically is achieving nothing because people are just getting poorer and the country's getting more into debt and things have got worse, So basically all of this is for nothing. That's the worst part of it all. All of that, all the carry on that's going on at the moment is all for nothing. So that's why they should have kept probably this woman around. Like, let's admit, they should have probably kept her around. Because if this woman was here, this wouldn't be happening. Simple as that. Because she wouldn't do it. Simple as that. She wouldn't do the insanity. And that's just the simple fact. If this woman was here, the current Finnish government wouldn't be doing what they're doing at the moment. Because the main issue in the Finnish government back when Sanna Marin was there is she went out and partied with a few friends. Now you need 6 or 7 hands to count how much the Finnish government has done in the last 6 months. Hello, Assassin. Sorry, and how are you doing? Hope all is well. We're just... But yeah, long story. But if she was here at the moment, I'm sure all we can agree they should have probably kept her. Like they should have probably kept her around, because the people that they elected in our place, nobody can argue that. We went from a good government in Finland to one that's literally off the rocket. Like generally seems like they want to close everything. They hate everything. It must be like they hate themselves. I think. But I don't even know what you call them in nationalist party. I don't know what you would call them. Like there's some kind of lunatic party. I don't even know what you call it. They call themselves true Finns. It's insanity. They seem to hate Finnish people more than anything else. Like I don't know what's wrong with them. Because the only people that suffer at the moment, they're not letting any refugees in and stuff like that. But they seem to just hate Finnish people because they're the people who are suffering at the moment. Because they put up the tax, as soon as they got elected, they put up the tax extremely high. And then obviously they cut all the allowances for businesses, subsidies, etc. And then the inevitable happened. Everybody lost their jobs, loads of businesses closed down, etc. All because they wanted it's time to cut. And that's pretty much what happened. Yeah. I know these people, Finnish people, like as we speak now at the moment in Finland, 400 and something thousand people are out of work. There's no jobs. Nobody can find any jobs. Everything's downsized, as I say. Say about these museum tourist places. 100 and something jobs are just gone. Gone. They're going to be gone after these places close. They're going to be sacked. Get out. Goodbye. That's what's happening. It's insane. And that's what's happening. They don't care. The majority of these people are Finnish people and they don't give a shit. And the worst thing about it, for the first time in years, literally to go back to the Second World War, people are lining up for food banks in Finland, in a Scandinavian country, in the Nordic country, where they have a welfare state, etc. It's insane. Yeah, like Finland and Scandinavia itself, Finland would be always left with, it was always a social democratic government. and then the Left Alliance and stuff like that. So it would be very left-wing country, the same as Denmark and the same as Norway. The National Coalition Party and the True Finns are in government. Well, they're considered right wing. True Finns, particularly, are considered very extreme, more far right than extreme. They are extreme. Like I will admit that they are extreme. Yeah, well, not really. I just think they don't like Finland in general. I don't know what they're trying to do, because it seems like they want people to own nothing to be happy. If that makes any sense. Like, that's what they're going with at the moment. That's like, generally, that's what in my mind, and a lot of people's minds in Finland, that's what they're doing. Because like Sanna Marin's government was a lot better to them. People were actually happy. People are not happy now. It makes sense. You've just seen that article there. Majority of Finns just want them gone. They have enough of them. They're going to get them demolished in the next election. As we see at the moment, what they want to do, they want to bring in hate speech in Finland. If you criticize the government, they're going to lock you up. If you just could, like, not so much criticize now, but if you criticize the government, we're going to lock you up. They're already, going to charge people €200. Say if you go to an anti-government protest, they can charge you €200 for attending, because you're not allowed to protest against the government. Like, it's very 1984, basically. And then obviously the ban strikes, they've just uprooted every part of society. Like, it's just insanity. Like, they generally seem to be just insane people. And I met one of them. I met with the Speaker of the House. And now, to be totally honest, he's not much of a good fellow. I didn't really want anything to do with him when I met him, to be totally honest. Especially because what he said in the past. He said something particularly gruesome in the past, which shouldn't have been said. But it's very gruesome what he said. Well, not gruesome, but in a way, it's disgusting, I suppose, the word to describe it. Oh yeah, but the thing is, Finland has its own energy and stuff, with nuclear power, etc., etc. It's the fact that just seemed to blow up their own country, basically, the True Finns, because that's pretty much what it is. Because again, the whole lot of this is about the debt. They want to get rid of the debt, but the fact of the matter, the debt went up, and they haven't done it. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. It's gone up fivefold since Sanna Marin was in government. That's the whole purpose of this. All these cuts, etc., etc. To people, it's just that. Like, as I said before, there's people literally dying of cancer at the moment in Finland. And before that, there was this, like, allowance for people that were literally dying, only had a few weeks to live, a few months. That the government would give them a few bob, to keep them going to do stuff in the last few years. Like, they wouldn't have to worry about money, basically, if that makes any sense. And the True Finns just came along and cut all that, just got rid of it all. It's the same with people with special needs and stuff like that. There was programs for people to get into work, etc., etc. True Finns just came along and got rid of all that too. So basically, they don't give a shit. As the woman that's over the True Finns, it's very obvious, particularly with this statement, what she said. In politics, there shouldn't be empathy. And that's the thing. She doesn't care. You shouldn't have emotions. You should basically just be a blank object. Like, you shouldn't care, basically. That's more or less what she said. That's the leader. That's the leader, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Cities. We shouldn't have empathy for people. So it's just, like, literally psychopaths, basically. Like, literally, like, that woman is a psychopath. Like, just to say, because she just doesn't give a shit. But anybody, like, I don't know what's wrong with them, but there's something very wrong with them. And Finnish people do take it too, because they've lost orders. So, like, during the European elections, the True Finns had 3 candidates for the European Parliament. Only one of them got elected, and they got annihilated. They lost all their voters. They lost literally nearly everybody that supported them, because people are just sick of them. Like, their own voters are literally sick of them too, because they just literally gone insane. Like, I can't emphasize, like, how bad they are. Like, I couldn't emphasize them. Like, you think they're bad here. Like, I don't know what's worse, here or there. Be totally honest. But yeah, long story short, they probably should have kept. I think we all can agree they should have kept this woman. Like, they should have done it. Because if this woman would have won, none of this would have happened. Because it's just literally insane. And the fact of the matter is, and I keep going back to it, that it wasn't like a mile away. It wasn't like she got defeated back into the next century. It was a few points, and like a few centimeters in a distance. The Social Democratic Party got 31.3 or something like we said. And then the true Finns came second with 21 point, was it 21 point something. So basically only 2 points or something like that in the difference. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing about the true Finns, they're basically only there 400 days and people already have fucking enough of them and want an end to them. Like we've seen that in the European election, less than 300 days into their government, people who already wanted rid of them. So it's going to be a huge landslide for the Social Democratic Party whenever the election is in Finland. But this is the thing. Over here we're always being fucked. I think we can all agree that over the years we've always been fucked. Like for the last 20 to 30 years, everybody's always been fucked over everywhere. Right, we're used to that. Irish people are kind of used to that at this stage. But over in Finland for the last 80 years, the country has been doing well and it's pretty much ended homelessness. Etc., etc., etc. People could own their own house. Young people could actually buy their own house. Imagine that. Could move out of their parents' house. Things are going well. Yeah, up until now. That's my point. Like, as I say, issue of people literally being evicted for them houses in Finland never existed. If that makes any sense. Literally never existed in Finland. And now it's an issue, as you see. It's an issue now. So, it's the fact of the matter that it was a good country before. If that makes any sense. They had very little to no problems. And now it has a fuck ton of problems because, it's time to cut. If that makes sense, you get where I'm coming from. Like, Irish people have always been used to being fucked over a bit. But, Finnish people, not so much, if that makes any sense. I can't emphasize how bad they are. Like I can't emphasize. Like it's quite insane. Like it's generally insanity. Like especially because they do hate, like they seem to hate themselves. Like the true Finns, which is very ironic. We are true Finns. But but no, the saddest part of it all was, none of this would have happened. Simple as that. If she was in, that's what I'm saying. None of it would have happened. That's just the bad part of it, and especially because I say it wasn't much in the difference. It defeated who and what? Oh, right. Now you've done bad when Greece is literally better off. What is the latest news in Finland? Just to see. So just to keep you up to date with the news now. So this is today. So it's day 494, the current Finnish government. This is the Prime Minister. We just talked about this a second ago. The coalition government, the True Finns and National Coalition Party, proposed volunteers to keep museums open, an opportunity for the unemployed to become civilized. Pretty much. That's pretty much what they said. So it's estimated in museums and historical buildings, right? Have loads of people employed, caretakers, etc., etc. It's estimated in that field of work there's something like 70,000 or something like that employed in Finland, like in museums and stuff like across Finland, historical buildings and something like that. There's something like 70 to 60,000 or something like that. Like a lot of people employed in museums and stuff like that, because there's some big estates and some big historical places. Something like that. I can't, like something like I might be wrong in saying 60,000. It's a lot of people, and 40 to 60 probably. Maybe it's 40 to 60. It could be there, something like that. But yeah, so basically the government want people to work for nothing, as I said to you. So that's great. So these people know a lot about museums, etc., etc. They're basically saying to them, "We want you to work for nothing. We're not going to pay you, but we want you to work for nothing." Literally, when they get no anything. Yeah. And this next thing, just to say, this is just from today, because every day there's something. Um, so a lot of local councils are worried that the government are leading to feel the debt. And what you mean by that is there's a lot of elderly people can't afford to buy food. And there's a lot of people can't afford to buy anything. They're going to food banks, etc., because they can't afford food. So basically, long story short, the local authorities, a lot of local authorities around Finland are very worried that a lot of people be dead in their houses because there'll be no food for them because it's generally got that bad at this stage. That's what they're worried about. And then literally, this is the greatest thing ever. An hour and quarter train. They don't have the money to do up an hour and quarter. They don't have the money to do up a new railway line, for a train. Which is it's like even just reading these, something's pretty fucked up in Finland. Something's mighty fucked up. But also, did you hear about the medal, Sean? Did you hear? Did you hear? I'm getting the medal. Getting a medal. I don't know what you hear at the time when I was talking about it. No, geez, you just like no. Where is that? So I'm trying to find the thing just to show you. When I mean you see. So the Swedish government are going to give us a medal, basically. Yeah. When I mean us, I obviously mean Sanna Marin, of course. She's going to get the highest award from Sweden, basically, along with these other less noble people. So Sanna Marin's going to get the Order of the North Star, which is Sweden's award. So there you go. So you don't see the true Finns getting this, just to put it out there, because they have done literally nothing worth of a medal. And we were just talking about this earlier on. It's kind of funny the way she put it. Oh, what is that? Takes 1,000. Like usually, I was people say takes 1,000,000. So I don't know what she was trying to do here. So I don't know. 1,000 thank yous. Thanks. 100,000 welcomes. I'm going about the Vikings. Let me see. Sorry, I'm just making sure I've covered everything I wanted to cover. There's probably other stuff I haven't covered, but coming up to the election, you'd be sick of me. Let's put it that way. Yeah, you genuinely would be sick of me coming up to the election. Like, to put it nicely. We're all just chatting among ourselves. Among us. We'd probably go at 8:30 anyway. We'd chill until 8:30. Because my throat is dying just the same. You probably can hear it to me. That I'm not really fit to discuss much more than that. My throat's dying a lot more nowadays than it used to. See, I'm talking too much and just don't know when to fucking shut up. Shut up. Will you shut up? Shut up. Shut up. For the TED quote. What the fuck? So we are looking forward to the election. Good. Well, just having the talk about Vikings. We should all go to Denmark. Just turn up in Denmark. Norway too. Norway or Denmark. That's usually the Vikings are. Well, I don't know about the same shower. I don't know. It's hard to know what way it's going to go. Is it going to be Sinn Féin and the Labour Party? Who knows what way it's going to go? But the only thing we know is the Green Party couldn't be annihilated. That's one thing guaranteed. People are fairly fucking whiz with the Green Party, as they should be. So it's fair to say the Green Party are going to be non-existent, which is not much loss. I don't know about Fianna Fáil. Fianna Fáil will probably be fucked too. But Fine Gael probably would be fine. So I don't know. It really could go anyway. To be totally honest. At the moment, but it's going to be the same fucking useless cuts. I agree with you in that statement. It's going to be the same useless bricks. We have to get the true Finns over here. They can just completely focus all together. Because definitely they're going with the World Economic Forum, the true Finns, because they're determined, like the way they're going, that what people don't want to be happy. That's pretty much the true Finns at the moment. They watch the own nothing and be happy. Because that's literally what in my mind and seeing what they're doing, that's literally what they're up to. Like, there's no other explanation in the world. Yeah, but that's all they did. But at the same time, when they were not really closed the border, but they're heavily restricted, I suppose you got. But still, at the same time, they literally blew up everything else. That's that way. That's the only thing they did. There was any addition, basically. But it was quite hard to get into Finland anyway. It's like there's not many asylum seekers in there at the moment anyway. I don't know about brainwashed. To be told, there's a lot of young people, particularly now in the last while, I've seen interviews on streets, etc., etc. It's more the fact that they're quiet about house and etc. etc. They can't get house and etc. etc. That's what the majority, and they're like, oh, we want somebody that can give us easy answers. Sinn Féin says I can build 1,000,000 houses. Oh, if Anna Patrick says I can build 1,000,000 homes, you know, and they couldn't build a hen house. The Labour Party. You know, it's about whoever says, oh, I can get you a free house. You know, that's pretty much what it is. I know the quite. That seems to be happening often nowadays. Like all the young people are voting for Sinn Féin. That's what they're voting for. Not really anything else. So that's what's happening. If only they knew, but sure, you know. I don't know what the whole situation. It's just a pretty fucked up. It's the same as Finland, though. It's just fucked up. Like, the Irish government really want the World Economic Forum too. They just want everyone to own nothing and be happy. Dun, 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 dun. It is good. I will say this now, probably. Hopefully, the YouTube doesn't pick it up. But it's quite sad too, particularly now the last must be month. The censorship on YouTube has got something worse. It's got worse than it did before. It's insane. It's quite insane. So it's joking. The West has fallen. Yeah, that's pretty much who it is. That's why they give a rise in the pension thing, for example. Because they're relying on the elderly vote. That's what it's not so much like who young person. Point to the young fellow who's going to vote for Fine Gael in the next election. I couldn't take them. All the majority of people I hold for Fine Gael here, at most they're in their 30s and 40s. So there's nobody but like under that age I have ever met in Fianna Fáil in the 30s, for example, in the teens. haven't heard them. I haven't seen one in my life. You know. Hey, that's pretty much there. They're relying on the old vote. Only for that to be fucked. Oh, well, it can work. It does work. We've seen it with Gavin Pepper and stuff like that being elected. Well, I have my brain fit for a second. What they got Glenn Moore too of the Irish Freedom Party, and what they got Patrick Quinlan too of the National Party too. You know, it does work to some degree. It's when you get people behind it, I suppose, if that makes sense. It can work, but well, to be totally honest with you, I don't know. I don't know can it work because after seeing the true Finns win in Finland, I don't know. To be totally honest, because they had a perfectly good, young prime minister. They could have re-elected, to make Finland great again. Because it already was great when Sanna was there, but now it's shit because the Finnish government. But they should have re-elected this one. But I keep crying over that. But it's the truth. Yeah, but let's be honest. Which farmer now is going to be like, I'm going to vote Fine Gael? Because Fine Gael was known as the Farmers' Party. I know what you're talking about. But the Fine Gael now at the moment, you see what they're doing with the Greens, the Green Party. The fuck the whole farmers over. In a few years' time, there'll be no farmers at all. You eat the bugs. So you get what I'm saying. So what right-minded farmer now is going to vote Fine Gael? Like, you have to be insane to vote for them. That's what I'm saying. He generally would have to be up his own backside. Because you see yourself farming is not a profitable business anymore for anybody. And you see the amount of times that they go up to Dublin with tractors, etc., protest. They just want to get rid of farming. They don't want such thing as farming. Any good in the bad, I don't know. You can quote, what they call quote Martin McGrath anyway, if you're in Tipperary anyway. Matty McGuire, Carl Nolan too, of course. There's many other I could go on for now. Yeah, well, try your best. If not, then independent. That's what I would say. That's what I would say to people. I know people would just do whatever, but I can't really tell what to do in the vote. But I would say to think about the effects of it. If that makes sense. I would make a whole video when the time comes of it. Obviously, I talk a good bit when they do what it is called, etc., and stuff like that. I go through all the candidates for Cavan, etc. So what we did before the local town election, and I give my opinion on what I think of it. Because at the moment, I generally don't really know who in Cavan. I know of some of the people who are winning. To be totally honest, I don't know what way I'm going to give. To be totally honest, I don't know, but we see. What did Brendan Howland say? We need to redefine Irishness. The Labour Party said. Interesting. But anyway, lads and lasses, I think we're going to leave it there. Is there anything else before we go tonight? Yeah, imagine saying that, but the Labour Party, what do you expect? It's the Labour Party. They're not much decision. They couldn't build a hen house. But anyway, lads and lasses, is there anything else before we go tonight? Because I'm worn out, to be totally honest, after going through all that. I can't say what day of the week next week going to be live. It could be Wednesday, it could be Saturday. I don't know, to be totally honest. But obviously, coming up to the election, we'll probably be live twice a week to go through stuff and things like that. If that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm sure there's nothing else, anybody, because now is the time to tell me. Oh, my hands are cracking, getting hard. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, thank you. In the 1916 Toms, yeah, that's what he said. Like, that's what he really said. You're right in saying that. But yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said. I forgot that in the 1916 Tom, but what he did say, but we define Irishness, yeah. But what do you expect from the Labour Party? Ivana Bacik would say the same. So yeah, make sure to keep that in mind if you see the Labour Party coming knocking for votes or looking for going to vote for the Labour Party. If you do, make sure to keep that in mind. But I don't think many people will vote for them, especially in Cavan. At least the one good thing about the Labour Party here in Cavan, they're never going to get a Dáil Éireann seat. They're never going to do it in Cavan and Monaghan. So that's good as opposed to know for people in Cavan. The Labour Party never will be any kind of force in Cavan. They only have about 500 to get 500 votes a year, which is still good, but it's not what you need. In Cavan Monaghan, unless things change, it's always going to be Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, a few independents and a few Sinn Féin. That's really what it's going to be. Never people before profit, social democrats, etc. Oh yeah, well, presumably we would have turned these graves a long time ago anyway. At this stage, they all would be like turned a long time ago. years ago at this stage. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the bike holiday this month. Make sure to enjoy that too. And I'll talk to you again. Good night and goodbye.